Hiring managers and recruiters hate AI-generated resumes. I mean, they can see them a mile away because they all kind of look the same, which makes it really difficult to decipher one candidate from the other, and it makes them question the authenticity of the claims on the resume. Like, is this person who they say they are? Have they done what they said they've done? Yet, there are more and more freelancers, solopreneurs, and job seekers who are turning to AI to help streamline and automate their entire process for job search and for job applications. So, where can we meet in the middle? Is there a way that you can still use AI and automation to streamline this whole process while still being able to stand out among the crowd? Well, there is. And in this video, we're going to go through just that. We're going to use a RAG system, so Retrieval-Augmented Generation, as well as automation through Make.com to not only streamline and automate the job search, but to also tailor your resume to the specific job without diluting your experience and really helping you stand out among the crowd. Now, of course, this entire system can be used whether you are looking for a job and applying to jobs, or if you're a solopreneur or entrepreneur who's looking at different gigs or ways that you can do your cold outreach. So if you're looking for a way that you can streamline and automate your job search and job application process completely free, then grab your coffee or your drink of choice and meet me at the computer. Okay, so here we are at the computer, and we're just in ChatGPT, and we're going to look at Explore GPTs. And here there is a GPT completely free. I've built it myself. It's called RAG to Resume. So it's going to help you create a long form CV, and this is going to act as the baseline for the tailored resume that we're going to make. So this is part of the Retrieval Augmented Generation. So here, what you can do is upload, paste your resume, LinkedIn profile, or share a summary of your work experience. So I've got this resume that I actually had ChatGPT build for me, but it's Jane Doe. She's an administrative assistant with about 5 years of experience. I'm just going to copy that, paste it here, and we scroll down. You can see it's already, let's get started. Let's start with your most recent role. Does this look correct? Yes. Here's what I have for the primary. So it's just sending back what is in the resume, right? But asking, is there anything else that should be included? Say, yeah, that's about right. So maybe Jane doesn't know that she can include more things. The step 3, tools and techniques. Did you specialize in any tools? So this is how we can blow it out, right? And using very specific ones. So yes, I used MS Office extensively. I'm an expert user with advanced knowledge in using the full suite, which tracks. I use MS Outlook, calendaring for maintaining schedules, and Trello to ensure all calendars are synced with project deliverables. So there we go. There's a little bit of like, what are some of the tools that a person uses? And then it's going to incorporate that into the CV, right? And you can see it's added a couple more bullet points to what was already existing. Have you worked on any major projects or process improvements? Yes, I implemented a digital filing system that replaced manual paper filing, reducing document retrieval time by 30%. I also standardized meeting schedule using Microsoft Outlook templates, cutting down scheduling conflicts by 40% and improving executive availability. Why not? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run away and I'm going to finish answering all of these questions, and we'll come back and we'll see what the CV looks like in a bit. Okay. All right, so we're back now, and here's Jane Doe's CV. So this is a little bit longer than her resume. Now, you may not know this, I worked as a recruiter for about 15 years. It's been a while since I've been a recruiter, but I've read literally hundreds of thousands of resumes, interview tens of thousands of candidates. And I can tell you a CV, I've seen them as long as over 15 pages. For somebody who has 5 years experience, we've already spilled onto the third page. So this just really provides a lot more detail that we can use in a system to pull out relevant points to a job description, right? And it's already there for you. So we're not going to send this necessarily to apply to jobs, but there we go. So in order to do that, we're going to create an assistant. So this is going to be it. We're going to create an assistant. That's all we have to do is we go into platform.openai.com. I've got this, these instructions. This is all going to be linked in the description below, but I've got this. So resume formatting guidelines, I've got the whole thing. So we're just going to paste this in. So now we've got, and I've got all kinds of instructions in here in terms of like the format, etc. So again, it's all in, I'm going to call this resume from reg. So it's all, like I said, it's linked in the description below. So you can really make this your own. You can use whatever you want to use. I think the 4.0 is good, especially for resumes. The file search, what we're going to do here, this is basically what's called the knowledge base. We're going to add a file, and I'm going to just drag and drop, or click, I'm going to upload rather, Jane Doe's CV, not the resume, but the CV. So this is going to be the baseline for Jane Doe. We're going to turn on code interpreter because it's going to need to look at the job description, look at the CV, and pull out the relevant details. You can worry about your temperature and top heat. I'm just going to leave those as standard. It's entirely up to you. But this is just kind of a baseline. And right there, we're going to copy that code because this is what we're going to need in make.com. So here we are at make.com, and we're going to create a new scenario. We just needed those first two things. The first thing we're going to add in here is an Apify, because now we need jobs. So we've got the CV sorted, the resume sorted, but we're going to go into Apify. We need to run an actor. But first, we need to go over to Apify. And if you're not familiar with it, here it is. Just go into Apify, click on the store, and you can see all of these different categories at the top. We're just going to click on jobs. It's kind of front and center, which is cool. There's a bunch of them here. The LinkedIn ones are like $30 a month. Indeed, Glassdoor was like $20 a month. But the one here, like actually Indeed Scraper, it has more users, more stars. We're going to use this. And you can see it's $5 for 1,000 results. And you already get $5 for free every month. So you could literally apply to search 30 jobs a day and still not hit your limit. So we're going to put in the keyword, position keyword, administrative assistant. The country, we're going to say Canada, because I'm in Canada. Location, I'm going to say Toronto. Now you can add in more details in here if you really wanted to kind of narrow this down. Instead of having 50, I'm just going to say 5. You can change this to whatever you want. We're going to scrape the company details, follow redirects. Yeah, we're going to do all of that. Use URLs instead. So if there's just specific jobs that you want or whatever, or specific companies, and we're going to save and start. This way, now we've got this as one of our actors, and I'm going to click save and start and let it run. So it's going to run this actor, and it says like it'll take probably about a minute or so to run through, which is fine. So it says here, the actor is getting your data. Now you can click abort if you want to stop this or whatever. We've got this weird message at the top, but it will start doing a bit of a countdown. So no thanks. There we go. So we're already at 21 seconds. This is real time. Like you can see the countdown happening at the top of the screen, top center of the screen, sort of, as it runs through getting the data. You can see 0 of 1 handled. That'll turn green and it'll say 1 of 1 handled once it's done. But we just want to kind of see what the output is. And here we go. We see these 2 items. It's still kind of running through here. You click over here. But we can look at the all fields or the table, and you can kind of see all of the information that you're going to find. Is this oh, look, it's finished, turned green. We can look at all fields here. So We can see all of these different companies. We've got 5 of them, where they are, what they need, what the job is, etc. So that took 1 minute, 9 seconds. We didn't even hit our $5. If you're finding this video helpful so far, please, it would help my channel out a whole lot if you hit that subscribe button, and don't forget the bell icon so that you don't miss future videos. Now back to our video. Okay, so here we are back at make.com. We're going to do this again. So here we go. We're in the Apify. We're going to select the actor as Indeed Scraper. Run synchronously, yes, because we want this to finish going through everything. Now, we need this JSON code that you just get from there. All you need to know, don't worry about the JSON. You just need to know how to copy and paste. That's it. There's a section there that says JSON. It's fine. So that's to run an actor. Next thing we need to do is add another one that says get data set. This is another Apify. So one is just generating it, but we need to now lift it. So that's basically, we're running the actor, and then the data set ID is coming from the previous Apify module. So here we can just type in data, there we go. Default data set ID. And we click that in there. And this is all fine. We're going to set the limit to 1. Actually, I put it at 5, but I'll probably end up setting that to 1. So we're going to run the actor. We're going to get the data set, and it's just right over here where we've got we've got our 32 runs. There we go. But it's only run 5, right? Now this, we're going to need to put in I started an Excel spreadsheet, but I think I'm going to change the headings on this. We just copy and paste it. Yeah, because see, it's kind of weird. But we copy and pasted that top row from the Apify results. So we're going to want to put this into a Google Sheet, because we want to track this. And this we're going to link into our make.com scenario as well, so that we can track all of the jobs that we're pulling, as well as maybe even the resume. I'm going to delete these too. I don't really need those. Delete these. URL for it has it in here twice, which is kind of a pain in the butt, but that's okay. We can just delete that easily. It's not too many columns. So we just kind of select all by clicking in the upper left-hand corner, double click in between our columns. Yeah, so this is kind of what we would have. I think we're probably going to want to insert 1 column to the left for the date, just so that we can date stamp these as well, which will come out. We've got this called job alerts, and we're going to add this into our scenario now. Let's rename the scenario. It's going to be our Indeed jobs. Good enough, right? Now, what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to run this once just to let this go through. I'll actually have this linked in the description below, as well as the prompts that I'll be using in this. So the one we just used, and I'm going to need one for our when we call in ChatGPT in here in a minute. So we'll let this run. It does take a minute. Get data set items should not take long. This takes a minute though, and that's okay, because we just saw that when we were running it in Apify. But this is pretty much it. And it's going to be great, because then we'll have the information that, there we go. That was actually really fast to get the data set, but we can see all of the information. Here we go. What is all of the information that we've got? Oh, there was no salary that was on the job. Right, we can see the company name here. We can see the location, right? We can see the URL as well, which is kind of cool. We can see the full description, which is pretty cool. And we can also, it's in HTML. If you really wanted it in that format, probably not. So we'll just shorten that. And then what we can see, the search input, that's what we search, but the company info. which is really good to have as well, especially for a cover letter if that's what you wanted to write, but we can get company info, etc. So this is great information, and now we know what we can pull into a Google Sheet and what we can pull into our ChatGPT assistant, right? Which is great. So maybe right here, what we'll do is we're going to add in some columns to our Google Sheet as well. So we can, the job details, and we'll put that into a Google Doc, which is kind of a good idea. Apply link, because that was in the output as well. So it's just good to have. There we go. URL, job details. And then maybe we'll have our resume, the Google Doc, like we're going to save that, and then cover letter if you want to do that in a Google Doc as well. And then we'll have a column for years of experience in case we can pull that out and apply to this. I think it might be cutting off on my camera here. But yeah, so applied. So we can do that as like a yes, no kind of a field as well. So we can track that for future automations, right? So we can then do this, but this enables us to keep a human in the loop as well, so we can review everything before we hit the apply button. Now in here, we're going to add a row to that sheet that we just saw. So we're going to make sure that we've got the right connection. It's not going to be in there. It's going to be in that group. I'm going to choose the file. And what do we call it? Job alerts. Boom. The sheet name was just sheet 1, and the table does contain headers. So now we can see our headers, and now we can map from this get data set items from Apify into here. So the date, what we can see, we can do the scraping date, or you can do the posting date. And I think the posting date might be a little bit better, so we can see like how long after we posted did we actually apply. Position name, that's coming right from here. The salary, we don't have. There is a salary, there was the salary field. So in case somebody does post the salary, a lot of government jobs will do that in Canada. The job type, there's that. We can see that it's permanent. So, and you can start to filter out roles, like did you apply to permanent, part-time, contract, whatever. Company is right here. So again, we can, the location, I wasn't in the field here. Location. So we can even, filter by location, etc. We can see the URL to the job description, but because these URLs can tend to expire, we're going to actually copy the job details into a Google Doc. So we always have it to refer back to. Now the apply link, we did see that in here. I'm just going to search for that. Yep. External apply link. Oh, there we go. And a resume Google Doc, like that's something that we will build from our ChatGPT thing. So there we go. Years of experience, we can probably pull from that. So this is our Google Sheet. We're going to add the row, but maybe what we'll do, I'm going to add a module in here for Google Doc. Because I think what we're going to do is create we're going to need that to feed into our ChatGPT module as well. So I've got a folder called Job Application Test. And so what we're going to call this doc, we'll call it by the job title, right? Which is, position name _ company, so that we can have some uniqueness there. And then the content, we're going to say company description, and then the description there, not the description HTML, but the description. So we'll have both pieces of information in this Google Doc that we can refer to later. And then I'm going to run this module only just to kind of give it a test. Now, obviously, it's not going to pull from the previous module, so we can just put in some dummy data just to make sure that this works. Okay. We're going to call it admin assistant. Company is going to be ABC. Company description, just something, a dummy data. We are cool. And then the description. This is a cool job. So just so that we can run it just to kind of see what ends up happening here. We can see it's pretty quick. And we can take a look at the Google Doc. Oh, there it is. That was really quick. And we can see we are cool. This is a cool job, and it's called admin assistant _ ABC. Perfect. And so there we go. Now we're going to come back here to make.com so we can see that that worked, right? And then what we can do is this job details. We're going to take this from the Google Doc, and we are going to do the link just so that we have a link to it right in the Google Sheet. We'll do the same for a resume as well. So we're just going to click save. And there we go. So now what we can do, now that we've got the document or that information, we can now go into ChatGPT. We can add in our little assistant, our ChatGPT assistant, that will generate the resume based on this job description. We're going to do this message and assistant, but you can look, we'll just go into this show more so you can see all, like there's so many things that you can do with ChatGPT, but we're just going to do this message and assistant. My OpenAI connection, and we've covered that in a previous video. And then the assistant, I've got this resume from Reg. It's already in there. The role is user. The message, now I do have a prompt. Again, this is going to be linked in the description below. That I've got right over here. So you're a professional resume writer, and it's quite a long prompt. So which includes AI avoidance kind of instructions, etc. But it will be linked in the description below. You can obviously, edit this whichever way you want. Now in here, what we're going to do is for the job description. So right there, we're going to replace that with the job description, probably from, you can scroll right back to the Apify, the second Apify module. So this is going to be this description. So we can click that and add that in. Oh, I didn't mean to click it twice. Oh, and I should really actually delete this. There, or you could just say like found here, and then link that module back, so it'll pull that in to the assistant, right? So based on that and the CV that's already in the assistant, there you go. Now you're not really going to need to worry about any of the rest of this, so we can just click a save and move it over. So this, we're going to rename it. Just right click, rename, and just to call this resume generator. You can add in a separate one with a different prompt, of course, to generate a cover letter if you wanted to do cover letters. But we're just going to be simple here. And so what we're going to do is take this and put it into a Google Doc. So we're going to create a document based on the output. We're going to call it resume. So it's going to be based on our ChatGPT output. Resume, and then we're going to call it maybe job title, which is the position name in that second Apify, and _ company. The content is going to come, we'll scroll back up, from the results from our ChatGPT assistant, right? So those results will go into there. And then the document location, we'll put this also in the same folder. Job applications test is all I called it. And that's it. And then we're going to click save. And then we can link this back into our Google Sheets as well, right? So we're going to just rename this, because if we want to do the same thing for a cover letter, we can do that. But this, just to kind of keep everything kind of organized, we're going to just rename that to resume. And so it's going to go from Apify. We're going to create our Google document. Let's scroll out a bit. Based on the job, we're going to add all this to Google Sheets. We're going to generate the resume. We're going to have a copy of the resume, which we can use for our thing. I'm just going to clone this instead of, this already has the exact sheet in it. And just so that we can also include a copy of the resume in our spreadsheet, in our tracker. Resume, Google Doc. So we're going to go see the last one. It's even called resume. We're just going to put in the link, and we're just going to click OK. So there we go. Now what we can do is, now we can see the whole thing. We can just click a save. Now we could run it. Now we know that already that this takes a second. And we're just going to do one at a time because it just makes life a little bit easier just for demonstration purposes. But if you wanted to run, say, 20 in a day, then what we would do is use our array aggregator to do that, right? So we can run through one at a time for like 5, 10, 15, 20, however many you wanted to do in a day. We covered that whole concept in a previous video here, which would be helpful, especially if you want to do some bulk versions of that. And leave a comment. Let me know if you would like for me to do a part 2 to this video showing how that would work. So we've bounced through Google Sheets fast. So the messaging and assistant, let's see how long that's going to take. We can hang out while we're waiting for this to run through, right? Oh, that was actually pretty quick. Quicker than I thought it was going to be. Oh, and we're already through. We've done this through here. So now if we go in here, there's the job description. I don't know where our resume is yet, but it should be. So here is the job description, basically. So a little bit about the company, a little bit, and then, of course, the job itself. So that's perfect. Now we're going to go back. Oh, and there's the resume. So it just took a second. I don't know if my folder needed to be refreshed. Here's a tailored resume. Now this is in Markdown, but you can copy this, right click and paste as Markdown. And then all of these, the Markdown will go away. It's just, this is how it's done. But you can, it's pretty simple. But you can see this resume now is very customized, very tailored to the specific role. This will be a little bit better than a little bit more than just one page, but it's going to fit the role precisely. And in our, you know what I did? I copied that module or cloned the module. I should have probably just had the one module, the one Google Sheets module at the end, but I'm going to fix that up before I have the have this in the description below. But the fixed version will be in the description below for you that you can use for yourself. So there you have it. This is how you can use RAG, or Retrieval-Augmented Generation, to be able to help tailor your resume or your pitch or whatever it is to the job that you're applying for. And we can also use automation tools like Make.com and Apify to help streamline the whole job search process as well. Now, in our example, of course, we pulled one job at a time. But if you want to pull multiple jobs, then you're going to need to add in the array aggregator function in Make.com. Now, we did cover that in a previous video when we were looking at our carousels for Instagram. But if you want me to do another video or a follow-on video to this to go through that whole process as well, you just leave a comment below, and I'm happy to do that. And if you did find this video valuable and helpful, please, it helps me and my channel out a whole lot if you hit that subscribe button, and don't forget the little bell icon so you don't miss a future video. And feel free to leave a comment below if there are other video ideas that you have or other automations you'd like to see me build. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy hunting.